Hi, Ryan Hayden here from ryan-hayden.com, and I'm back with another tech tip, and I'm really excited about this. This is going to be a series of videos about how to have an awesome church website for about as cheap as you're going to get it. Now, I see church websites all the time that are just downright hideous, and I know of lots of churches where they just don't even have a church website. I've heard it said that the church website is the new lobby of your church. The vast majority of people that visit your church are going to go to your church website first. And I've been a web designer for a long time. I've spent a lot of time with church websites. I've seen the evolution of church websites. And I really feel like I can show you, just a pastor with just average computer skills, I really feel like I could show you how to get to a good church website for as cheap as possible. Now, I want to say this from the get-go. There is no such thing as a free church website that is worth having. I feel very strongly about that. Quality church websites that don't cost anything just do not exist. You're looking for a website that represents your church well, that's professional. You're looking for something that's easy to upkeep. You're looking for something that's easy to find. You're looking for something that gets updated on a regular basis, and you're just not going to get that for free. Now, in my experience, there's two kinds of free websites. The first is a guy, probably a kid in your church, a teenager, maybe somebody that's in his 20s and he's living in his parents' basement, and they have some set of computer skills, and you ask them or they volunteer to do your church website. And I've been that guy. I know what it's like. It's a bad idea. Let me tell you why it's a bad idea. For one, you don't know how good of a web designer that person is. And they could have very poor web design skills. They could just be using your church as practice, and that's not a good situation. Two, even if they are a good web designer, if it's a free project, they will begin to resent the project, and they won't want to see it through. It'll get to a situation where you're calling them and you're asking them for things, and they're ignoring your phone calls because they don't want to mess with it, and it's just a bad situation. The second kind of free website that I've seen is there's several sites online that offer free template kind of sites, and some pastors swear by this. Usually you don't get your own URL, your own domain name, so it says, like Wix. Bible Baptist Church of Mattoon, Illinois.com or something like that. And you get a template that looks like 100 other people's templates. It looks 10 years old. It's hard to update. It's a pain in the neck. Everybody that goes there knows that you've just used a template. It's kind of like using clip art on a bulletin. Everybody knows where you got it, and it's not professional. It's not, in my opinion, worth having. If you're going to have one, you might as well have a good one. And so I really feel strongly there's not really such thing as a good free website. What's this going to cost you? I say as cheap as possible. I'm not taking any money for this. This is totally free. I'm not benefiting in any way materially from this. The cheapest it's going to cost you is somewhere in that neighborhood of between $100 and $200. And that money goes primarily towards a domain and hosting. There's probably thousands of companies that offer a domain and hosting. I recommend that you buy them together. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a coming video and explain that whole process. But the majority of the money is going to go towards those two things. About $50 of that money is going to go towards a pro template that's going to make your website work. It's not the kind of template that we're talking about from the previous thing. It is a totally different world, so you might as well just get that idea out of your head. It's going to make your website work awesome, all right? That's not all it's going to cost, though. That's just how much money it's going to cost. It's going to cost you at least a full day of work. I mean, you're going to have to block off a day and sit down and get this thing done. The setup of it takes some time. There's no way around that. Okay, that's what you would be paying somebody else to do. You're doing it. If you're not a web designer, you don't know necessarily how to do this without somebody holding your hand. And so it's going to cost you a little bit of time. And then more than just one day of time, it's going to cost you time on a weekly basis. I recommend at least 15 minutes as a bare minimum every week, working on your website, keeping it up to date, uploading the things that you need to so that it stays fresh. Doesn't matter how awesome your website looks, if you don't keep it up to date, it's not going to be worthwhile. All right? So let's say you do this. Let's say you buy in, you say you're going to watch all the videos, you follow all the steps. What are you going to get? What's your website going to look like? All right. Let me take you to my website. Now, I used to design websites, and so I have done the whole WordPress from scratch thing. I've done the whole blank HTML thing. Many people have paid me to make their websites, but our church website is not a website that I designed from scratch. It used to be, but I found something that was better. And I don't design websites for people anymore. If somebody asks me to do it, I don't do it very often, but if somebody asks me to do it, what I do is I find a template, a WordPress theme, I pay for it, pay somebody else to do all that hard work, and then I adapt it for their specific needs. And that's what I've got here, okay? And I really feel like this represents our church well. It represents our mission well. It looks professional. It's very, very easy to add pages. It's very, very easy to add other content. Things like these sliders and things are very easy, far easier than other things that I've worked on. It's got a great sermon archive where I can keep all of my sermons up to date and people can listen to them and download them and even read them, which I think is really, really cool. It's got a great page for maps and service times. You can watch live services on it. It's got a built-in calendaring system, and all this is just super easy to use. And so all of the themes that I'm going to show you and I'm going to recommend, they're going to have similar functionality. They're going to be just as easy to use, and you're going to end up with something that fits the look and feel of your church and is professional. But you're going to end up with it without paying somebody $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000 to design it from scratch for you. And it's still going to look like yours, okay? So I think this is something that's definitely worthwhile, all right? So that's what you get. Now, here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be 5 more videos after this one. This one's the introduction. The first video that I probably will have out on Monday, it's going to walk you through the process of setting up a domain name for your website and setting up hosting for your website. In my opinion, it's the scariest part of the whole thing. I'm going to tell you what hosting companies to use, what hosting companies to avoid. I'm going to explain some of the terminology, and hopefully you'll have some understanding, some grasp of it by the time that we're finished with this next video. The video after that, I'm going to show you how to install WordPress on your host. WordPress is the software that runs your website. It's the software that makes it easy to update. It's the software that allows you to use these templates, these themes, and it's very, very powerful stuff. And so I'm going to walk you through the process of installing that on your host on your new website. And then the next video, I'm going to show you where to find high quality church themes, and then I'm going to walk you through the process of installing of purchasing that church theme and then installing that church theme on your website. And so there'll be a little bit of work that's involved in that. And then the next one, these themes are not personalized. You have to personalize them yourself. You have to add your own content. You have to set them up. And so I'll walk you through setting up one of these themes. And very similar across the different themes, but we'll talk about how to add your own logo and how to add sliders and how to put things on the pages where you want them, that sort of thing. The last video that I'll show you we'll just go through some of the basic upkeep things, the things that you want to keep adding on a week-to-week basis. Things like your sermons, things like your blog, or I call it Pastor's Pen at my church, things like photos, upcoming events, your calendar, the things that you want to keep up on a regular basis. I'll walk you through the process of doing that, kind of hold your hand, show you the best way to do it, and hopefully by the time that we're done, you'll have a good understanding of how to have a great church website for about as cheap as possible. So keep coming back to the blog for these regular videos, and hope this is helpful. This is Ryan Hayden, ryan-hayden.com. Come back to the blog when you get a chance.